What was I about to say? What's up, guys? No, that's not what I want to say.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Isn't she precious? Too much.
Hey family, welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad that you guys are here because today we're talking about something that I have been wanting to share with you guys for a little minute now. And that is about my first trimester experience. I know that many people have many different kinds of experiences when it comes to the first trimester. So I just wanted to share the things that I experienced, the things that I went through, the good, the not so good, the terrible. Yeah, I just want to share it all with you all. So before we get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, send it to, one of your homegirls that may be a new or first time mommy, or just anyone. Like, you don't even have to be a mom to watch this video. I just feel like it's some real good information that I'm going to share with you guys. So stay tuned. So let's get into it. Number one, or what's first on my list, is fatigue. I know I mentioned it in my first video about, the pregnancy, about how tired I was and everything, but the fatigue lasted all throughout my first trimester, like all throughout, literally up into the 13th week. Literally, I was so freaking tired, like I couldn't get right. It was really, really hard to get out of the bed in the morning time. All I wanted to do was just like lay around and just sleep. Like that's literally all I wanted to do. Even though now I'm still, dealing with some level of fatigue and being more tired than normal, it's not nearly as bad as it was in the first trimester. It was really hard for me to get anything done, like anything. So, honestly, what I did about that is I rested, I slept whenever I felt like I needed to sleep. I didn't try to fight it because there was really no use in trying to fight it. Your girl was going to sleep, okay? I was going to sleep. So yeah, that was really hard. That was a really tough part about it because there were a lot of things that I was trying to get done. I was just starting a new job, so especially like getting up early in the mornings, like a lot of times I would have to get up at least by 6:30, sometimes 6 o'clock, just to get ready for work because I would be moving so slow, and because it was so hard to get up. And when I would go to sleep at night, I would sleep like a bear. So yeah, fatigue was not fun. Second on my list would be nausea / throwing up. I know that a lot of women experience, nausea in their first trimester. Many of them, well, I've heard a lot of horror stories about it. So, when people would see me at work and, find out that I'm pregnant or whatever, they'll be like, oh my God, like you're doing really well because, you're not throwing up everywhere. Like you're actually able to work and stuff, because a lot of women that I've talked to, they would either be like so nauseous that they couldn't, stand up for long periods of time, or they would be throwing up so much to the point where they would just be weak. Like they would lose weight, and would literally just have to stay in the bed all day. And I heard a lot of stories like that, but my case was not that bad. Thank God. Like, thank God that it was not that bad. But it was bad, as far as the nausea goes, because it came with dizziness. So a lot of times, oh, I'm getting out of breath. That's another thing. Let me slow down because I'm getting out of breath just from talking. But yeah, so the nausea would be worse than the throwing up. I threw up probably about 7 or 8 times throughout my first trimester, which is not bad at all, like at all, compared to a lot of the things that I've heard. But I would be nauseous like literally every day, all day. It's not morning sickness. That is a lie. I'm really not sure who came up with that, because who just gets sick in the morning? No. But I will say that I would be sicker in the morning, like before I ate something, and a little bit after I would eat something. So as soon as I would wake up in the morning, I would have to put something on my stomach, or I would be no good. And then it would be soon after I ate, maybe about 10 minutes after I would eat, I would get nauseous again. And whenever you feel that nausea, or whenever I would, like I said, it would come with dizziness and weakness. Like I would literally feel like I could pass out, like I could just like fall out if I did not sit down. Like immediately I would have to sit down. So yeah, like I said, I didn't throw up that much, which is why everybody thought that I was gonna have a boy, because apparently there's some, saying about how rough girls are on you throughout pregnancy. But yeah, the throwing up wasn't terrible. It was just the nausea that kicked my butt a lot of times. And a lot of times at work, I would have to scoot to the back real quick to just take a breather, because with working with the public, even though we were taking like I guess caution with COVID and everything going on, so people would be wearing masks, and we would have, we have glass in between us and the people that we're interacting with at work. I could still smell everything, like literally everything. So with all the different smells coming in, whether they be good or bad, like all of them weren't terrible smells. But if someone came in with really strong perfume, or if someone did not smell so great, any of those things could trigger it. Like literally any of those things. Food, smelling a certain food could trigger it. It was just a lot. It was a lot. So yeah, thank God that maybe like a week or two after the second trimester, that went away. Like after I got into the second trimester, it definitely went away. So next on my list would be tender breast. So I know I talked about that a little bit too in the last video, but yeah, my boobs hurt throughout the whole first trimester. It was hard to wear certain clothing. It was hard to wear a bra, honestly. So anytime that I didn't absolutely have to, aka anytime that I was not at work, I was not wearing a bra, because just anything that would be not even super tight, but just like laying on my boobs, I couldn't take it. Like I could not take it. So yeah, my boobs hurt really, really bad. They just felt heavy. Like they just started feeling heavy, and like, I don't know how to describe it. Like they just felt really heavy and really uncomfortable, and I just didn't want anything to touch them. And that leads me into the next thing, which is breast growth. So I have pretty decent sized breast anyway before I was even pregnant. So before I was a 32 triple D. Now I am a 36 triple D. So I had to go bra shopping basically. After about September, October, November. So yeah, after about 3 months, I had to go bra shopping. I got me 3 bras, and I thought that, you know, I would be okay for the rest of my pregnancy. No, your girl gonna have to go bra shopping probably again this month because they just keep growing and growing and growing. And if you know what it feels like to have a bra that is too small, you understand my pain or the annoyance of, you know, walking around with a bra that doesn't fit properly. So, yeah, after about 3 months, I went to go get fitted for a new bra, and the lady basically let me know, like, yeah, you're probably gonna have to go into a F. And I said, a what? Like, she was saying, like, the next thing up for me, because my, you know, my waist isn't, you know, that big compared to my breast size, that I would probably have to go into a F after this. So, yeah, that's not, you know, that's not what I was wanting to hear, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I ain't mad at it, you know what I'm saying? They're growing, and they even seem like perkier for some reason. Like, they seem perkier, so I'm really not complaining. I'm not complaining, but yeah. So other changes with my breast, and I'm sorry that I'm talking about my breast so much, but I'm really trying to, you know, share this with y'all, anybody that may be going through this, experiencing it, or might, just to let you know what you should expect, you know. So in a way, my boobs look like somebody punched me in them. So they're kind of like, so I guess it's like the veins that are showing up now, because like you can see the veins with like in my chest, and so it's kind of like bluish, greenish kind of. And it's not terrible, but like, of course I notice it when I look at them. I can see it. So it's not the cutest thing in the world. Like, it just seems like everything is getting darker. Like, even my areola and everything like that, getting bigger, darker. And yeah, the veins are very prominent and you can see them. So that has been interesting and something to adjust to. But it's a part of the process. I'm not mad at it. It's okay. It's cool. So, last thing I'm gonna say about my breast, and I'm gonna leave it alone. They started itching so freaking bad. Like, so bad. And the only explanation that I could get from anybody was that, you know, one, that your skin goes through changes when you're pregnant, of course, but that's, you know, your milk coming in basically. Like, it's going through, your breasts are going through the process of, you know, getting ready for the milk to come in. So it has some changes that needs to happen in there. And when I say itch, I mean itch. Like itching to the point where it would start to hurt. Like that kind of itch that it would hurt. And you can't scratch them because like you don't want to be like, you know, just scratch. You don't want to scratch that hard on your skin anywhere. But when it comes to your breasts, like you have to be more sensitive, especially with them being as tender as they were and them itching. It really just ended up being a bad situation because it would be hurting and itching at the same time. So I couldn't really scratch how I felt like I needed to. So yeah, it was kind of torture. That's enough about my breasts. I'm sorry if that made you uncomfortable, but like I said, I'm just trying to help. I just apologize for making y'all uncomfortable, didn't I? Well, you about to be a little bit more uncomfortable. Because next on my list is constipation. Listen, regular constipation versus being constipated when you're pregnant, neither one of them are fun. Like, nobody wants to be constipated. But that was different. Listen, I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I will just say that it hurt in every sense of the word. Like, my stomach hurt. Other things hurt. I'm going to leave that at that. It even got to the point where I, like, had to go to you know, the doctor because it hurt so freaking bad. And it's like I could not use the bathroom. Like I just couldn't. It got to a point where I could not use the bathroom. And a lot of it was due to the amount of water that I was drinking. So I needed to, you know, up my intake of water. And I didn't realize that as much as I did until then. Also, I needed to up my fiber intake. So I started having to take fiber supplements. So the little packs of, you know, fiber that you can pour into bottles of water or mix into your drink or whatever. I started using those. And that helped tremendously. But yeah, the constipation was not okay because, like, once again, not trying to, you know, give too much information, but when you're trying to use the restroom, but you also have, you know, a baby inside of you, like, you can't strain, like, you can't push, like, you're not supposed to anyway, but you can't do that, like, at all, especially not it being that early in your pregnancy. Like, you can't do that. Next on the list is increased urination. So I've always kind of, you know, peed a lot, but never like this before. My trips to the restroom have tripled. I would say they have tripled. And the thing about it is, it's not always that you have to like pee. It's the sensation of having to pee. And as I went through the first trimester, that seemed to get worse and worse. Like, you know, as the baby grew, as I grew, it just seemed to get gradually worse. So yeah, it's that it wasn't really like a terrible part. It's just annoying, you know, to have to keep running back and forth to the restroom, especially at night when you're trying to sleep. It wakes you up. You gotta go to the restroom and you gotta go back to try to make yourself go back to sleep. When an hour later, the same thing is gonna happen again. So yeah, it's really just annoying. That's all. Next, I'll talk about my cravings. So everybody has been asking me, like, you know, what have you been craving? Have you had any weird cravings? Because I know a lot of women, I've heard things like, you know, wanting pickles and ice cream and just wanting really weird stuff together. But crazy enough, I haven't had any weird cravings. Like nothing weird that you would put together or be like, ugh. I haven't really had any of those. Really, the only thing that I have like craved more than ever is chicken. Don't get me wrong, I have always loved chicken in every form, but since I've been pregnant, chicken. If you want to, you know, make my day, bring me chicken. It doesn't matter if it's chicken nuggets, grilled chicken, baked chicken, fried chicken, uh, uh, chicken with sauce on it, whatever. Like, it don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. If you bring me chicken, I'm gonna love you. So yeah, chicken has just been my thing, and I'm not sure why, but my baby's gonna love chicken because that's really like I eat chicken all the time, all the time. As far as like food aversions, it hasn't really been anything like too terrible. Like it hasn't really been anything to make me like just gag, like I don't want it. But I used to really love shrimp. Like I would eat shrimp like I eat chicken now. Love shrimp. But now I don't really want it like that. Like it can be right in front of me. It can smell great, but I'll probably leave it on my plate. It'll probably be the last thing I eat if I eat it. And once again, it doesn't make me gag or anything like that, but I just don't want it. It's just not something that I want to eat. So yeah, that's honestly been it as far as like food goes. It hasn't been anything crazy with food. Oh, I will say that before I was pregnant, everybody knows that I did not like ice in my drinks. Like I would go to a restaurant, get a drink, no ice. Like, I just didn't really mess with ice like that. Like, I just don't like ice. But now I put ice in just about everything. Like, it's rare for me to say no ice now. Yeah, it's like I need ice now. I need it. I'm not sure why that is, but that definitely has changed. Like, I want ice. I love ice. I haven't been like chewing on ice or anything like that. I know some people do that when they're pregnant, but it's not even that. It's just that I want ice in my drink. Like, I just want my drink really cold with ice, which is totally weird and out of character for me. Totally. I would rather room temperature. Like, before, I would rather room temperature or either hot drinks. I'm the type of person to drink like hot tea or coffee in the summertime with no problem. So next is headaches. So I used to have a history of having like really bad migraines, like when I was in high school, but that was due to, you know, being on birth control or whatever, which eventually I had to stop because of it. But after that, like, I didn't really have, you know, terrible headaches or anything like that. But I would have the occasional headache. But throughout the first trimester, the headaches increased. And they weren't like unbearable, but just the amount of headaches that I would have increased. And, you know, you can't take ibuprofen, you can't take, you know, anything like that. All you can really take is Tylenol. And plus, I don't want to take medicine, especially not now while I'm pregnant. So yeah, I try to avoid all of that, like all of that as much as I can. So the way that I tried to combat that was drinking more water whenever, you know, I would feel one coming on. And also, I would try this little trick that I started doing in high school. I can't remember if somebody showed me or I seen it somewhere, but so you take this part of your hand, excuse me. So you take this part of your hand and you pinch it, and right where like the muscle is, and you pinch it and you hold it for like 30 seconds to a minute. And it doesn't just like instantly get rid of your headache, but it helps relieve it a little bit, like as time goes on. Like after an hour, you can really feel it starting to, like, a lot of the pressure starting to leave. So yeah, that's just a little trick that I would use so I wouldn't have to take any Tylenol or whatever. And honestly, anything other than that, I would just sleep it off. Because like I said before, I was sleeping a lot, so I would just sleep it off for the most part. But if I was at, you know, work or whatever, that's what I would do. I would just pinch my hand. And yeah, a lot of times it would really help relieve the pain. Like, it wouldn't necessarily like get rid of the headache, but it would make it a little bit more bearable until I could go and lay down. Number 9 on my list is bloating. So before I even started like showing necessarily, my stomach started just looking really, really puffy, feeling puffy. I just felt like a blowfish a lot of times. So really, in my mind, I thought that I was bigger than I actually was. I thought that my stomach was, you know, I thought that I started showing a little bit earlier than I actually did, because the bloating was just that bad. It just was so uncomfortable. Just super uncomfortable to, which any lady watching this knows how bloating goes, because that is just something that we deal with. Did somebody fall? I hope not. But that's just something that we deal with, bloating, especially during our, you know, girl time, our time of the month. We, you know, experience bloating, and it's not fun. So yeah, it was just, bloating is just really annoying and uncomfortable, and there wasn't really much I could do about it. So it was just kind of something that I had to, you know, deal with. So that's pretty much like all of the like symptoms or whatever that I dealt with. Hopefully I'm not leaving anything off, but I don't know. Baby brain is a real thing. I got my notes right here, but baby brain really is a real thing. So yeah. But I did want to tell you guys a little bit about my doctor experience through my first trimester. So the first appointment, the first official appointment that I had was at the 8-9 week mark. It was like somewhere in between there, and that's when they'll first see you, between you being 8 and 9 weeks. So the process with that was the beloved Pap Smear, of course. Don't you just love those things? Like, they're great. They're the best. Like, who doesn't love a good, Pap Smear? Having something shoved up there, and I'm not even gonna get into details. If you don't know what a Pap Smear is, if you're a guy watching this and haven't, experienced it yourself, I suggest that you do some research on it, because us ladies, we have to deal with that every so often, and it's not comfortable at all. Like, it's really not comfortable. But yeah. So yeah, you gotta get a Pap Smear for them to, make sure everything is okay in there. You do a blood test, of course, and if you don't know your blood type, they'll let you know what your blood type is after, them running all the tests and everything. I found out my blood type through this, which I'm pretty sure that I knew back in the day, like when I was younger, but I just forgot. But yeah, they let me know my blood type. Of course, they take a urine sample. They pretty much do that at every appointment, a urine sample. The best part about the appointment was that I got to hear the baby's heartbeat for the first time. That was great. That was like amazing. That I got to hear her heartbeat for the first time. Like, even though I knew that a baby or that something was growing inside of me, just like actually hearing her heartbeat, it was indescribable. Like, that just solidified everything for me. It was just like, wow, like, there's really, really a life, like something with a heartbeat, a person like growing inside of me. So that was very that was emotional for me. And along with that, the ultrasound, just seeing, even though she didn't look like a baby, she definitely didn't look like a baby then. Actually, I'm going to show you guys the ultrasound picture. So I have all my ultrasound pictures in here in this little album. I just wanted to, have something tangible to put those things in. And I plan on, taking pictures of her and stuff, and not just keeping it on my phone. I actually want to put it in something. I may get one, a different one in the future, but for now, this is what I have. So I'm gonna cover all the important information at the top, but this is what she looked like during the first trimester. This was 8 weeks and 6 days. So she really did not look like a baby. Like, she didn't look like a baby at all. Actually, it really just looked like, I didn't know how to describe it. I didn't really know what she looked like, but I just knew that it was something that wasn't there before. So seeing that was really dope. It was really cool, along with hearing the heartbeat. Like I said, it just kind of made everything real. It just really made everything real for me. And okay, so that was at 8 weeks and 6 days. This was 12 weeks and 3 days. So towards the end of the first trimester, and as you can see, even though it was only a few weeks, she started looking a lot different. Like, she actually started looking like a baby. Like, you can see her head and where her body was forming and everything. So yeah, just watching the progression and seeing the growth, it was like, and especially like in a matter of a few weeks, it was unbelievable. So the first appointment, yeah, they ask basically, about your family history. Like, is anyone in your family Does anyone in your family have diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, different things like that? Sickle cell. So I have the sickle cell trait. My brother and I think my mom have the sickle cell trait, but not full blown, sickle cell. And I believe it's if you have the sickle cell trait and your partner has the sickle cell trait, that it's a 3 in 4 chance. It's a 3 in 4 chance that your child will have sickle cell. So if I'm wrong about that, I'll put the correct information somewhere. But I'm pretty sure that if you have sickle cell trait and your partner has a sickle cell trait, there's a 3 in 4 chance that your child will have sickle cell, full-blown sickle cell. So that was something that was, I wasn't scared about it, but it was something to be concerned about because I do have the sickle cell trait. But thank God that my boyfriend does not have the sickle cell trait. So that's not something that we have to, necessarily worry about, thank God. But yeah, they just ask a lot of questions about your family history and about your medical history, the things that, that you have experienced medically or whatever, any surgeries that you've had, anything like that. So yeah, that was pretty much like the first appointment. It wasn't bad. Like the first appointment really wasn't bad. So after they see you like every 4 weeks after that, so around the 12th week mark was when the genetic testing was offered. And through the genetic testing, they test all of the things basically that they talk to you about, when they ask you about your family history, like as far as like Down syndrome goes, or any heart defects, anything like that that could be going on with the baby. They can test that through your blood. And I didn't know that they could do all that. And I also did not know that you could find out the gender of your baby through the genetic testing. I thought that I was gonna have to wait until like I got closer to like the 20-week mark or so to find out, the gender. But they were like, no, we can tell you, in about a week or so whether you're having a girl or a boy. So that's when I found out. Like after the genetic testing, they took the blood, they tested it and everything. Everything came out normal, nothing to be worried about, thank God. But that's when we found out that we were having a girl. And yeah, that was that was indescribable, because I was always a person that always said that I wanted all boys. I used to always say that I wanted 3 boys. And as I got a little older, somehow it got up to 5 boys. Don't ask me how. But I still want boys. But it was like the closer I got to finding out whether it was a girl or a boy, it was like something in my heart was like, it just kind of started shifting. It was like, you know what? It would not be so bad if I had a little girl. Like I could do her hair and I could dress us alike, and I just started thinking about like how cute she would be, and just everything like that. And not just those things, but wow, like if I was to have a little girl, like I would have to like teach her everything that I know, which means that I'm definitely gonna have to become a better woman now. Like I was gonna have to become a better woman regardless. But having a little girl and knowing that she's literally gonna watch my every single move, and basically, especially like in the earlier stages, model herself after me, because I'm the main example that she's gonna have as a woman, as a female, as a girl. Like that's gonna be me, amongst the other great women in my life, but I'm gonna be the main person that she's watching. So that came with excitement, but also a lot of fears. And I'll talk about that in a later video. But yeah, when I found out that it was a girl, literally like it just changed everything for me as far as like this pregnancy experience. Like it just changed everything. And that was pretty much it as far as like my first trimester experience. Not many people could tell that I was pregnant unless they, you know, were close family. Like literally nobody knew unless you were close family. Because one, I wasn't showing that much. Skinny or, you know, little, but like naturally, so it wasn't, you know, even the closer it got to being the end of the first trimester, you still, like, you could tell, like I said, if you knew me, but not really. So yeah, that's pretty much how my first trimester went. It was, I'm not gonna lie and say that it was a great experience. It was pretty rough. Like it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. I do not want to make it sound like it was roses, because it was not. It was pretty rough between the fatigue, nausea, breast changes, everything like that. It was pretty rough. But yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that's what I just kept telling myself. And now that I'm in the second trimester, a lot of those things ended, but some other things began. And I'm going to tell you guys about that in a later video, my second trimester experience. I just want to get through the second trimester so I can look back at it like I did at the first trimester and, you know, reflect, so I can give you guys, you know, an honest overview of how it went. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys for sitting with me and watching and listening. Hopefully I helped in some way by just, you know, telling you my experience. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, so, you know, I can't give you all the, you know, details about it, but I can share my experience, my honest experience with you guys, and just let you know that you're not the only one. Like, it's okay if you're going through your first trimester right now. I know it may be hard, I know it may be tough, I know you may feel like a lot of people don't understand, because that was something else that I experienced, just feeling a sense of being alone, even though I had people around me, even though I did have the support. And that's even something that I still deal with now. So just know that it's okay. You will get through it. There is light at the end of the tunnel, like I said. Yeah, and you got this. Just rest when you need to. Feed yourself when you need to. Drink water. Take your prenatal vitamins, please. And a little trick about that, actually, before I go. I started taking my prenatal vitamins at night, and that was something that actually helped with the nausea, because the medicines that the doctor was giving me for nausea, it would make me really tired on top of already being tired and fatigued from being pregnant. So those medicines I could not take, especially during the daytime with working. I could not take them. So a trick that my mama, you know, and my aunt, I think, told me about was taking your prenatal vitamins at night, and that began to help a little bit. Even though I still dealt with it, it helped a good bit. So yeah, just take care of yourself. Don't let anybody make you feel like you're tripping, or like, you know, you should be tougher than you are. You are growing a whole life inside of you. Like, you are literally creating life. Be kind to yourself, be good to yourself, treat yourself well, and yeah, just know that you're going to get through this, I promise. But if you guys want to connect, if you need someone to talk to, like I always say, like, please add me on Instagram, whatever, like, slide in my DMs so we can talk, you know, because that's what I'm here for, to be a support to you guys. And as well, you know, receiving the support and the love. And I do want to say thank you For everyone that showed love on my last video about, you know, my pregnancy experience, me finding out and everything like that, my pregnancy announcement basically. Y'all are amazing. Like literally, I was getting so emotional just, you know, from all of the love and messages and everything that I was receiving. It truly, truly means the world, especially right now where I'm at a time where it is harder to, you know, feel, you know, the love that's around you, because it's kind of like you just get in your head a lot about a lot of things. So I just want to say thank you again. Like I said, more videos are coming. I will be a lot more consistent than I have been, and I just thank you guys for rocking with me and staying with me and being patient. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next video, and I love you guys. Bye.
For your love, I'll take a bullet. You could plan that trip and I could just book it. You really the baddest, you don't just look it. Had the key to my heart and you just came and took it.